Let's go. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you are. It's good to be back with you. Hope you are doing well. You can listen to and watch me on Rumble and YouTube. And you can follow me on X, the platform formerly known as Twitter. Please like, share, and subscribe because it does feed the AI algorithm. And lastly, please post your comments and questions below. It would be wonderful to hear from you. It's great to be back with you for this new episode. And let's jump right into it. This from Payments. I'm assuming that's how they pronounce it. PYMNTS. This is a website. Mostly talks about, they definitely talk about artificial intelligence. So they have a lot of articles. So I'll probably be coming here from time to time. The title of the article is Silicon Valley on Edge as New AI Regulation Bill Advances in California. And this is from June 7th. So, recent article. Article begins a new California legislative proposal, SB 1047, is sending ripples of concern through Silicon Valley. Introduced by State Senator Scott Weiner, the bill seeks to implement common sense safety standards for companies developing large artificial intelligence models that surpass specific size and cost thresholds. So as I was originally reading through this article, obviously I had came up with some concerns about regulation, as I've mentioned in previous articles or previous episodes, and I will state here, I am pro AI. I anti-regulation. I am concerned when government gets involved in regulating technologies. As I've stated in previous episodes, government has regulated our energy needs with respect to nuclear power. They've created barriers to entry. I don't mind if there is sensible regulation, and I don't even know if I really like that word regulation. But if you let companies compete against each other, they have an incentive to provide the best product and service. And time again, this has been borne out. And so I'd like to give Scott the benefit of the doubt, but I just don't think that artificial intelligence is, I mean, you could regulate maybe at the outliers. That's possible. And of course I could be persuaded, or at least I'd be open to looking at possibilities of seeing how we can optimize. The word I would like to use is optimize these systems. I don't have a problem with safety, but sometimes safety does get in the way of moving things forward. It can bog you down. And of course, this is going to cost money, right? No matter what, this is going to cost money because the government's going to need to hire more people. And then they're going to have an incentive to maintain those structures of regulations, even if the regulations are bogging down the economy. No matter what, that won't go away. So let's Let's continue on with the article here. If enacted, the legislation would compel these tech giants to adopt measures preventing their AI systems from causing critical harm. Well, businesses don't have an incentive to cause harm to their customers. That happens with weapons. Facebook doesn't have an incentive. Now, being having a phone, being addicted to your phone, that's a side effect. I mean, to me, that's a harmful consequence of having a cell phone, or rather having Facebook. But nobody is. But there's no regulation for that, and it could be a serious mental health issue. So my thought is AI is just it's just a shiny object. So people are going after the shiny object because it's there. Anyway, let's continue here. Ensuring they can be shut down if necessary, and mandating the disclosure of their compliance efforts to a newly formed Frontier Model Division. See, more government. They're going to hire people within the California Department of Technology. Right? It'll never go away. That division will never go away. It's here forever. Failure to comply could lead to civil penalties, right? And potential lawsuits, raising the stakes for Silicon Valley's AI innovators. Yeah, and that's where this is going to head. But these are probably the people Silicon Valley AI innovators vote for, or at least they were until this happened. I don't see the downside in voting for more freedom, voting for more ability to be able to move through the market. Actually, I think the government actually did some good things in the past with respect to civil rights. Maybe that needed to happen. And maybe we didn't have enough people who at the time believed in markets solving the problem of discriminating against people just so they can eat someplace, right? Because they were constrained. Specific groups of Americans were constrained from participating in the entire market. So anyway, back to this. I'm kind of getting off the beaten path a little bit. All right. So the article continues. The bill is part of a growing wave of AI regulation being proposed and debated worldwide as lawmakers grapple with the rapid advancement of AI and its potential risks and benefits. What risks? So far, I just keep seeing this word risk, but nobody, or critical harm, right? They quote critical harm. What critical harm? What potential risks? This technology is going to be used mostly in business, people building products and services, right? And they need the technology in order against competitors who are building products and services, and it's a race to who builds the best product for the lowest price. That's it. But I still haven't seen what are the potential risks. They keep saying these words. I do not. I haven't. Of course, I've done a lot of articles now on the station about it. I haven't. Where are they? These magical things that exist somewhere on the ether, apparently. All right. So the article continues here. From the European Union's AI Act, and I did a previous article. On our show on European Union. I will post that in the description. European Union's AI Act to the White House's AI Bill of Rights. We'll be doing an episode on that soon. Governments are increasingly seeking to establish frameworks for the responsible development and deployment of AI technologies. Okay, so the people building these things, why wouldn't they be responsible? There are plenty of organizations out there that provide standards to engineers and developers. And this stuff is emphasized in schools. I'm telling you, these organizations and their standards are emphasized in universities. It's not a secret. Well, unless you come in from other engineering fields, it might be a secret. or maybe your professors did a terrible job of educating you on these things. It's possible as well. But there are large organizations who have already set up frameworks for how do you do business when let's say AI, like, it goes through a development process. Article continues here. SB 1047 represents California's attempt to address these issues at the state level, and its outcome could have significant implications for the future of AI regulation in the United States and beyond. Yes, you're going to regulate everyone into poverty. Or things are just going to stay the same and you're going to have this mediocre piece of technology that's not really going to do anything for people because it can't, because it's restricted. Again, as I've said in previous episodes, AI is probably going to be similar to, let's say, a computer. You have, let's say 2 computers. I know some people don't have a computer, but let's say you have 2 or 3 computers. You live here in the United States, you have 2 or 3 computers. Now you might have 3 or 4 AIs, right? One in your car, one at home. Maybe you interact with one at work. Probably that. Something like that. And AI is going to be a tool. It's going to help you. It's going to help you at your work. It's going to help you in your daily life. It's going to be an assistant until we get robots. Then robots will probably be your assistant. All right, so let's continue here. SB 1047 represents California's attempt to address these issues at the state level, and its outcome could have significant implications for the future of AI regulation in the United States and beyond. Yeah, I probably already read that. The bill has garnered support from two AI pioneers, Jeffrey Hinton and Yoshua Bengio, who have been vocal about artificial intelligence's potential existential threats. Hinton praised the legislation, saying it takes a very sensible approach to balance those concerns. Okay. Well, it's not just 2 AI pioneers. Who are the other pioneers who disagree with this? And actually, AI pioneers are already dead. They're all dead. Been dead for a while. Article continues here. However, the bill is also drawing significant pushback, foreshadowing the attack lines that might play out on a national stage if and when Congress moves forward with tougher legislation. Right. You're going to have a bunch of people that don't understand the technology, who are taking advice from a bunch of people who are hallucinating about the technology and can't seem to list out the risks for artificial intelligence. And those are the people who are going to pass legislation. That's the world we live in. So, impact on AI companies and innovation. Here we go. This is the stuff right here. The potential impact of SB 1047 extends beyond the tech industry as AI increasingly becomes a critical component of commerce across various sectors, observers say. Yeah. Did a article not too long ago on the restaurant industry. I believe the episode the statistic was 37% of restaurants in the restaurant industry utilize some form of artificial intelligence. So obviously the industry still has a ways to go for implementing, figuring out, how is AI going to interact with the business model. And not all the business models in the restaurant industry are the same, right? Burger King is not the same thing as a taco stand. The taco stand is not or the taco truck is not the same thing as a upscale restaurant. And so how they implement AI into their business is going to be different. There's going to be different levels of AI. And what do I mean by that? I mean, they could simply use AI, let's say in an app, phone app, one business. Another business could utilize AI within the facility itself. So AI will interact with uh, the company computers. Some restaurants are so large that there's multiple restaurants and they have an actual corporation where people work behind the scenes and have nothing to do with food. Think McDonald's, Wendy's, right? AI for them is going to be very different than the taco truck down on Main Street. How do you regulate that? I don't know. I didn't know how you regulate that. But I will continue here. From retail and healthcare to finance and transportation, businesses are leveraging AI to optimize operations, personalize customer experiences, and drive innovation. Right. As such, any regulation that affects the development and deployment of AI technologies could have far reaching consequences for the economy. Right. Exactly. No matter what, there's always going to be consequences, good or bad. Unregulated AI has consequences. Regulated AI has consequences. As Thomas Sowell says, there are no trade offs. Excuse me. Uh, there are no solutions, only trade offs. Article continues here. If the bill's requirements prove to be burdensome or ambiguous, critics say it could slow the adoption of AI by businesses, or I could just completely stop it, potentially putting California-based companies at a competitive disadvantage compared to their counterparts in other states or countries with less stringent regulations. Exactly. Grab some water. Exactly. Um, I doubt the UAE will regulate AI. I doubt some countries in Southeast Asia will regulate AI. Um, I doubt El Salvador, the way it's going, will regulate AI. Matter of fact, I wouldn't be surprised if El Salvador starts stealing talent, especially American talent. El Salvador would be a very attractive place to go for an engineer. Very safe now. Uh, it's tropical and probably nice weather all year round. Uh, it's probably easy, especially since it's safe. It's cheaper, so your dollar would go a lot further. Higher standard of living, and the opportunity to be able to build a future. So, not a bad place considering. Let's see here. I highlighted this. I thought this was important because I've talked about this before. Um, the bill could significantly impact AI companies, especially smaller startups and open source developers. Well, in the case of larger companies, they have more capital, and so they're far ahead. They already passed the initial stages of building their business. Now, smaller startups and open source developers, yeah, it could seriously hinder them. It would hinder them a lot more, impact their business a lot more than the already established AI companies. Those startups and open source developers would need to go someplace else. Because remember, this is only for California. But make no mistake, there are a lot of people that would like to make California laws national laws. And that's been the trend. Quote from an article here: while some safeguards make sense, the regulations must be precise to avoid stifling innovation in this developing field. Sunil Rao, CEO and co-founder of the AI company Tribble Toad Payments. Yeah, I don't know if that's possible. I don't think that's possible with this current crop of policymakers. I just don't see it. Uh, Article continues here. On the beneficial side, businesses will have more assurance that the AI tools they use are developed with higher safety standards. Bob Rogers, a data scientist and CEO of OII.ai, a supply chain AI company based in California, told Payments. How will regulation ensure they have more assurance that AI tools they use are developed with higher safety standards? They should be doing that anyways. If you want to compete and beat other businesses, you should be doing that anyways. No reason to wait for government to tell you to do that. You should be doing that anyways. If you're not doing that, it sounds like OII.ai isn't doing that. I don't know for sure, but that's an interesting statement. You should be doing that anyways. You should be cleaning your room, as Jordan Peterson says. You shouldn't have somebody else coming in and cleaning your room for you. It's just lazy. I see that stuff sometimes. So, quote here, unfortunately, I can list off more cons and pros, he added. Yeah, there's probably a lot more cons and pros. Businesses will likely face increased prices for AI tools and services since AI developers pass on any added costs associated with compliance onto their customers. They will for sure. That's what happened, or that's what's happening with increase in minimum wages. That gets passed on to the customer, and the customer has this is asking the question, well, why did it happen? Why are they raising prices? Because you voted for it. Because you don't understand public policy or economic policy in that case. Let's see here. Oh, so the article continues here, and there's the potential impact regulations will have on innovation if AI companies feel they need to be extra cautious. Yes. Yes. And it already takes a long time to develop technology. It already takes a long time. And there's a big difference in how companies develop hardware and software. There really is a big difference on their internal processes and documentation and things like that. There's a big difference. And the companies that are way ahead are really good at it will be distinctly advantaged. It's going to be difficult for small businesses to grow in California. I think that's what's going to happen here. Let's finish this quote. Business users themselves might feel a burden if they have to have strategies in place to make sure the AI tools they use are compliant. Well, they should be compliant. They should be compliant based off of the industry standards. They shouldn't need government to come in and tell them that. The regulatory body is the industry itself, the organizations that are just outside industry, but that are operated by engineers and developers themselves. And so they come up with a standard, an industry standard of how they develop. It could be software, of course, AI is software. It could be hardware, internal processes. How do businesses do business, configuration management, things like that. They should be implementing that stuff anyways. They don't need government to come in and do it for them. I've said that plenty of times now. Let's continue here. The bill would impose new safety requirements and oversight on developing large advanced AI models. Quote here, companies must assess risks, implement safeguards, and report compliance to a new state regulatory body, right? There's going to be bigger government, more government, which means more tax dollars, or potentially face penalties. Stephen Kowski, Field CTO, Chief Technology Officer of the generative AI security company /Next to Payments. For businesses leveraging AI, the bill introduces a lot of uncertainty. Right, exactly. And just as an aside, the bill itself would be passed by people in the California legislature. Now, how many of those people are knowledgeable? It's not how many of those people are data scientists and software engineers. How many of those people are knowledgeable of the topic, have taken the time to learn about the topic? Right? Who are the people that they're talking to lobbyists? What are their incentives? That's how the bill's going to be uh, processed and published, right? And then everyone else who is the businesses and engineers that live in California, they're going to have to abide by it. And the bill's going to be determined by probably not them, which would have been nice if this article would have included this, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. Quote here: it still needs to be clarified precisely what technical requirements companies must meet and how the government would assess compliance. That ambiguity could make businesses hesitant to adopt cutting edge AI technologies. Well, in California, yeah, that's they're right. Yes, if they're in California, but they'll just move out of California if they're there. And if they're not there, they're not going to move to California. They'll do all their business outside. AI is really it's one of those one in a millennial opportunities. It's never going to be here again, right? The next revolution will probably happen a lot sooner than between the information age and AI. But this is one of those iterations where you just got to get in. You got to get in. You can't miss. You can't mess this one up. Can't mess it up. This isn't the movies. Say quote here: some high level safety and transparency standards could help boost public trust in AI systems. He added. However, those standards need to be implemented in a way that allows access to transformative AI tools that can help businesses innovate and compete. Right. Policymakers should actively engage the business community to understand these needs and concerns as they refine this legislation. They're gonna screw it up. I already know they are. I have no confidence in the California legislature. Article continues here. The bill's two key aspects are what it requires companies to do and what happens if they don't comply. Right. It's all about compliance. That's all it is. It's not about innovation. It's always about compliance. Narayana Papu, CEO of Zendata, a San Francisco-based provider of data security and privacy compliance solutions, drew comparisons to California's privacy law, CCPA. That would be nice if the article actually spelled that out, noting that while there have been only 2 enforcement actions from the state since its passage around 4 years ago, privacy class action lawsuits have grown exponentially with more than 100 in 2023 alone. But we don't know what 2022 is or 2021. What's CCPA mean? So I got a window open. Let me check. California Consumer Privacy Act of 2018, according to Google. Yeah, that would have been nice if they had included that. Anyway, let's continue here. Papu also pointed out a potential shortcoming in the bill. One thing that is missing from the bill is transparency requirements for frontier models. These would have been a good intermediate step towards risk mitigation requirements. Yeah, I'll have a couple thoughts on that, but I'm going to. Well, reason why there could probably one possible reason why there is transparency, there's missing transparency requirements for frontier models is because somebody knows somebody. That's build those models. That could be one reason. Another reason is the bill is inherently not transparent. It could be another reason. I've talked about that in previous episodes. I'm not saying it is, I'm just saying it's a possibility. All right. So Tarun Tumala, CEO of AI company Press W, told Payments that the bill could inadvertently stifle innovation and lead to less secure AI systems. Yeah, probably. Unfortunately, I believe this bill will do more harm than good, though its intent is for good. Tumala said, yeah. Road to hell is paved with good intentions. That's right. Quote continues here from Tumala. In many ways, this bill will stunt AI growth and innovation, as well as potentially even cause less safe and secure AI to be developed. Okay, I'd like to know why Tumala believes that. How is that going to happen? It'd be nice. A little bit of context and explaining things would be nice in these articles. The proposed legislation would burden software developers with preventing the misuse of their AI services. According to Tumala, this could be especially damaging to smaller players in the industry. Yeah, it's always regulation always hurts the smaller players. Never helps the smaller players. That's not a thing. I mean, conservatives are correct on that point. It stifles innovation. Yeah, saying conservatives are right about everything. But on this point, they are. And conservatives tend to be pretty friendly towards markets, especially of recent years. Um, the article continues here with the quote: "This bill would most likely create a world where only large enterprises with abundant resources could afford to develop these AI models." He explained. Yes, that's what I've been saying. That's exactly what I've been saying in my videos. Yes, yes, that's all it's going to do. It's so funny. It's not funny, but it is. Um, quote continues here: "Open source development is crucial not only for tech advancement and progress, but also for democratizing access to these powerful technologies." Right, 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 right. Again, government has a history of creating inequalities, not creating equalities. Maybe government has created equalities from time to time, but throughout human history, government has time and time again created inequalities and played favorite in the marketplace or marketplaces. So, yeah, I'm not surprised that a bill would favor large institutions and create barriers to entry for smaller institutions. Wallace said he believes the bill's approach could backfire, ultimately leading to less secure AI systems. As an alternative, he suggested legislation focused on regulating specific AI applications rather than the development process itself. Yeah, there's already um, development processes in place from those adjacent organizations I talked about, which are not uh, government organizations per se. Um, So let's see here. Quote, "I believe legislation focuses on usage rather than development is better for protecting our society," Tamala said. "Regulating the actual applications that are developed and establishing clear boundaries around what is an acceptable AI application and what is not will allow developers a free swim lane to continue developing, and only those who use with the intent to harm will be punished." But that's not how it works, right? If you pass a law, it's got to punish everyone. And make no mistake, bad economic policy is punishment for everyone. Navigating the legislative landscape. With federal AI legislation still pending, a patchwork of state level bills like the California proposal is emerging. Given California's outsized influence in the tech sector, its approach could be a model that other states follow. Hopefully not. Hopefully not. Rao noted, while I agree with Senator Weiner that federal legislation would be ideal, no, no, that wouldn't be ideal. That'd be the worst case scenario. Realistically, it may fall to the states to act first. Um, yeah, and I'll be doing my part to make sure that states that are not California and other states that are anti-growth are outcompeted by states who want to embrace artificial intelligence, mathematics, and computation sciences education. However, a fragmented regulatory landscape would be a nightmare for AI companies to navigate. Yeah, it already is. It already is. I mean, regulation's a nightmare in general. It's crucial for states to coordinate with each other and aim for as much consistency as possible. No, absolutely not. The tech industry also needs to be proactively engaged with policymakers at the state and federal levels to help shape smart, innovative, friendly legislation. There's no such thing as smart, innovative, friendly legislation from government. It's not a thing. He continued, we now have well, there's a couple situations where it is. That's the case. But in general, no, it's not. Not technology wise. He continued, we now have an opportunity to get the policy frameworks right and cement the U.S. as a leader in AI. No, none of this has to do with becoming leaders in AI. No, if you nationalize all this stuff, the U.S. doesn't become a leader in AI. There's nothing about regulation that makes a country, a nation, better. That's not a thing. But overregulation could jeopardize that. Yeah, so now they're just going to play with large systems that can't be controlled. That's all that's going on here. Yeah, we're gonna regulate it just enough. No, that's not a thing. You know, just regulate, a complex system just enough. Nobody can do that. It's impossible. As SB 1047 continues to navigate the legislative process, the debate surrounding the bill highlights the ongoing tension between innovation and regulation in a rapidly evolving world of AI. The tech world's eyes remain fixed on California, awaiting the outcome of this AI regulation. That's the article. So they want to regulate AI, but they're going to have to deregulate nuclear energy to get AI. And so we've had nothing but stifle regulation on nuclear energy for the past few decades. I mean, we're doing well. We've still grown, but it has hurt us. We could be in a very different place right now with nuclear energy. Very different place if we'd been smart about it. We weren't. We weren't smart about it at all. Fear led the way. And same thing's going to happen with AI. AI might gradually make things better, but yeah, a lot of people are going to suffer because of these regulations. This is anti-growth. It's anti-flourishing. It's exactly what it is. All right, so I'm going to get on to my final 3 questions and thoughts about this article. Question 1. While reading through this, first time it occurred to me, the question I wanted to ask this person is, what states will take advantage of California's regulations? You know, speak to the writer or to the people who were interviewed in this article. That's the question I would ask. Because the way I see it, this is a great opportunity for other states to deregulate while attracting talent. Steal their talent. Steal those companies. Say, hey, California is going to regulate you into oblivion. Would you like to come to this state and grow? We'll leave you alone. This is also an opportunity. It's also an opportunity or opportunity to increase educational opportunities in mathematics and the computational sciences, where AI derives. So this would be a 3-pronged growth strategy, right? Deregulate, attract talent, and fortify your educational system, your pipeline, your your minor leagues, so to speak. I mean, it's if a state can do that or a country can do that, they're going to do really well in this next iteration of human technological revolution. Question 2: would engineer IDE? Would I work in California? Absolutely not. No, I wouldn't. wouldn't go there. I see jobs for there. I see job opportunities there. There's a lot of job opportunities. People contact me. No, I have no interest in working in California. Beautiful state. Uh, it's probably a jewel, but yeah, no, I wouldn't do it. You'd have to pay me a lot, and still, the policies are ridiculous. Educational policies are ridiculous. Economic policies are ridiculous. Public policies are ridiculous. It's a dangerous place to live. Well, it's always kind of been dangerous, but no, I would not work there. Question 3: will government regulate AI in weapons? No, absolutely not. It will not. Government has no incentive. Government controls national defense, which is a part of public policy. And I'm not. And by the way, I'm not convinced government should regulate AI for weapons. I mean, China has weapons. I'm sure Russia has weapons, and I'm not going to get into Russia-Ukraine debate. I don't care. What I care about is the flourishing of American citizens. That's what I care about. But since we have a government, we might as well we ought to utilize that government, and government is responsible for public policy. Since it's here and it's responsible, yeah, it would be dumb of us to regulate AI and weapons. Even though I use that as an example of they don't want to regulate AI and weapons, they just want to regulate you. That is true. But despite that, no, I don't. Because if we regulate in AI and weapons, we're going to be at a disadvantage. And, until China becomes a federal republic like with a constitution like the United States, we just can't afford to do that. It's too dangerous. So, anyway, um, that's all I got for this episode. Let me know what you think below in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. Love to hear your thoughts, your questions. Did I get anything wrong in this episode? You call me out, point it out, give me a source. Love to hear from you either way. Let's see here. And that's it. No final thoughts. Well, I guess those all were my final thoughts. But thanks again. It's been great to be with you. And I will see you in the next episode. Bye for now.